I think total cost of ownership has to be the driver of your decisions here with anything. It's just good business, right? But particularly we know from an equipment standpoint, if you don't get that right, you got a lot of problems ahead. If you make the wrong decision, you got to look at the big picture uptime and maintenance and driver acceptance.
I really like to look to the fleets for some things because, they have an eye on efficiency. They're not worried about who gets up the hill first. They're worried about the bottom line.
Are you assigning the right vehicles to the right routes depending on their range and their battery? Are you dispatching the right vehicles at the right time depending on their battery state? Are you driving them efficiently? Are you getting the right amount of miles per kilowatt hour, things like that?
As customers continue to put more focus on sustainability initiatives, I can see that expanding into other areas other than California. It's just going to be what's the total cost of ownership, and are customers willing to pay for that higher cost of fuel?
You're trying to run this Tesla tractor as hard as we can because, like everybody, we want to learn what it can do, what it can't do. The best way to get ROI on these things is to run it as much as possible. And the way to run it as much as possible is make it run double duty.
The more electric miles are used in the operation, the faster they get the ROI on these vehicles.
These trucks are expensive. Everybody knows they're expensive. Cost of these trucks will come down over time and become much more competitive against their counterparts. But the OEMs, I think, are going to play a key role in terms of developing products that are both efficient, operate in the duty cycle, can perform in the duty cycle, and are cost effective.
Total cost of ownership analysis allows fleets to weigh up their investment options and also allows us to try and predict the uptake of different types of vehicles. So total cost of ownership analysis weighs up the upfront investment costs in a vehicle, but also the operating and fuel costs over the lifetime of that vehicle. Now, electric trucks and other alternative fuel vehicles are often significantly more expensive upfront than a diesel or a gas vehicle. But over their lifetime, they can save a lot of money on fuel costs, on operating and maintenance costs.
Right now, we're not seeing what we'd hope to be the true benefits of moving to an electric fleet on the TCO perspective. But still, we're probably in the same range of what our diesel fleet would be as far as the actual fuel costs would go, electricity versus diesel.
Longer range, battery prices are going down, I think, which is really driving the TCO. So the total cost of ownership for fleets is getting better and better every year. They're actually able to realize real fuel savings. And while we understand that the upfront cost of these vehicles is still higher, there's incentives to help with that.
Our calculation for total cost of ownership, when you take into account the average price of diesel over the past 5 years and what we might pay for a diesel gallon equivalent of renewable natural gas, we have an ROI of about 2 to 2.5 years. That can fluctuate with the price of fuel, but we're very comfortable with the ROI. We're very comfortable with the results with the emissions reduction.
The customers are ultimately driving those decisions. But if we can show a customer through projects like this and other vehicles that we have in our fleet that we can show you through the data that we have that this truck will give you some type of impact on your carbon intensity scores that you're looking at, or the ultimate is that ROI over the life of the truck.
For us, it's a case of how do we prove that the benefits of electrification go beyond decarbonization? Like, we've got to make this cheaper, we've got to make this a better experience, and it's going to be greener.
You will have to look at what is the right blend, which gives them a balance between the right pricing for the fuel, but still reduce the CO2 emissions to meet their sustainability goals. I guess that's where RNG really plays in. And, out here in Canada right now, access to RNG is not as widely as what we have for CNG.
I'm of the view that certainly regulation has a role, but at the end of the day, these trucks and these fuels have to stand up on their own without regulations, without subsidies.
One of the things for Windrose is we designed the business plan around having no subsidies, having no help. If you can't make it on your own, then it's not a good business model. Too many companies have built their business model around that help, and that help never lasts. So it will be great if it's there. We think it should be there. We think there should still be some support to bring this industry in, but if it's not there, we'll still be okay.